Good morning, Year 12. This is Miss Wills. I'm really sorry I can't be in this week, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll be back soon because I'm really looking forward to meeting you all and teaching you media as well because it's an absolutely amazing course that I'm all sure you're aware of because you all opted for this course and I know we're going to have this year, and I'm really looking forward to come back and starting with you. Now, I know this isn't ideal, but what I have done instead of being there with you today is I've recorded this video, which is just going to go through the next lesson with you guys on a bit of an introduction to the course, what it's all about as well. So if you could please go through this and jot some notes down and make sure that you complete the activities as well, that will be absolutely fabulous. So last lesson, you will have had Mr. Oakley Pearson where you set up your blogs, which is fantastic because you'll be using that throughout the year. This lesson, we're going to be looking a little bit into research, what kind of resources you can use, and also what you'll actually be doing on the course throughout the year as well. So a little bit of a breakdown of the course for you. Okay. So first things first, this is a little research task I would like you to crack on with first of all. Logging in or using your phone, entirely up to you. Choose one of the following options. The Jungle Book, the 2016 film, looking at the budgets, the director, box office, cross-media convergence, which you might not understand what that means at the moment, but if you research into that, hopefully you will, and marketing. The Daily Mail newspaper, the owner, circulation, online format, style, etc. Or Stranger Things Season 1, again looking at the budget if you can find it out, marketing and cross media for marketing purposes as well. All I want you to do is to spend about 10 minutes researching, just at the start of this lesson, one of these products. Because of course, as you probably are aware of, you will be looking at these products in more detail over the year. This is what we are going to be, this is as part of your course, is what we're going to be studying, and of course what you're going to be examined on at the end of the 2 years. So spend about 10 minutes, research only one of them, and any initial ideas, any initial key facts and figures that you come up with, please just put them on your blog. So 10-15 minutes there, if you could give that a go. So just pause this clip for me, and if you could just crack on with that. Okay, hopefully you managed to get a little bit of information on one of those things. Obviously, it's very diverse media, so we are looking at a range of things, and you will have specific areas that you're really interested in. It could be newspaper, it could be film, it could be gaming. You will have your niche essentially. So that's probably what's helped you decide what you wanted to research there. The next thing I want to talk about is the use of phones. So obviously, with it being media, we do embrace technology, and obviously we don't want you sat there on your phone texting or go on Facebook or Instagram, or whatever it is, or TikTok. Obviously, when we say you can use your phone, it's use your phone for work purposes in media. If you're more comfortable making notes on your own device, bring it into lessons, that's fine. Obviously, with everything that's going on, also phones can be really good for taking pictures of slides, even though you don't necessarily need to do that because, as I'm going to discuss with you in a moment, all of these lessons will be on Sharepoint for you to access as well. And just a warning though, if the internet does go down or you lose your work, you would be entirely responsible for that as well. Okay, so with this in mind, I would like you, either on your phone, on a computer, whatever kind of device you've got in front of you, I would like you to log on to SharePoint for me. Okay, and when you log on to SharePoint, you should be able to access media studies. That will be an option for you. Now, hopefully you're all very familiar with SharePoint now and having probably used it during lockdown, but that is what you need to access for me. And if you go into your file, the Year 12 file, all these lessons that we're doing now, every lesson we go through in the next few weeks in the year will all be on there. So if you would prefer during the lesson to have the slides on your computer while we're going through them rather than, while also being big screen so you can follow along, you really can as well. That might be helpful for you. Okay, so all lessons, resources, handouts, articles used will be on SharePoint. Everything will be on SharePoint. And anything you miss to be caught up whenever you have internet access. So, at the moment with COVID around, there's a lot of self-isolating, a lot of absences. And if ever you find yourself in that situation or position for whatever reason you have to miss a lesson, your teacher will be in touch anyway about what lesson it is, but you must know, and this is up to you as well to take responsibility here, to go on SharePoint. The lessons are there, the activities are there. Okay, so it's just to make sure you can locate them and find them. So just spend a few minutes, just even pause this, going on SharePoint, just to have a little look around there at the lessons and where everything is and where all the folders are as well. As well, we've got here, we suggest you put the SharePoint address into your blog post. But don't worry, it can only be accessed by people in Whitby High School, because I know obviously your blog is published and it's out there, but no one else can access the SharePoint. So don't worry about that. Okay, so you've got your blog now, which is brilliant. Another thing, a resource that we use throughout media that we will be using as well for each kind of course that we do, section that we do, you'll get a booklet. So through the lessons, all the notes you make in these lessons will correspond with the booklets. You'll get a new booklet for each topic. So for Jungle Book, for Stranger Things, this is the lessons that I'll be teaching, and for Minecraft, all right? Your first booklet is just for the introduction lessons. The one that you have hopefully now is only for these couple of lessons, these few lessons, and obviously we're going through Creole as well, which I think you would have heard last lesson. If not, don't worry, I'll go over that in a bit more detail soon. Anything you missed will be accessible via SharePoint, as I said before, and we're going to be checking your blogs frequently and booklets. So this is how obviously we can see how you're progressing, and it's also to say maybe if you're finding some challenges and struggling a little bit, that we can help you with that. Okay, that's what it's there for. But again, as a reminder, whatever you publish on your blog, it is out there. It needs to be professional. Okay, take pride in your notes, take pride in your work. Okay, so the next slide we have here, this is kind of the course overview, which you might be familiar with by now anyway, because when you obviously were opting for the subject, I'm sure you sort of researched into what it actually entailed. So you've got paper 1 and paper 2 here. Now, I will be teaching you paper 2, which is this half of the curriculum there. Mr. Oakley Pearson will be teaching you the first half here. So that's how it's split. And each paper, as you can see here, is worth 35% of your final grade and final mark. And obviously the other 30% will be your NEA, which is really exciting, which we will come to and look a little bit more into later on in the year. So in your first exam paper, component 1 is media messages. So this is where you will be looking at the newspapers, and it's an in-depth study, this one. So with this one, it's kind of one of those questions where you need to, all aspects of media, of that Creole that might have been mentioned to you already, you'll have to look into and comment on and learn and study for this section here. At 45 marks. And then section B, media, language and representation. This is where you're looking at the magazines, advertising, marketing and music videos as well, which is pretty cool. And then if we move on to paper 2, so this is the paper I'm going to be focusing on with you guys. Your first section, section A, is evolving media. So what you'll be doing is you'll be looking at the following products. So we have the Jungle Book, and BBC Radio and Breakfast Show and Minecraft. So these are the three things we will be studying, and you'll get a couple of questions, and it will just basically be asking you about the changes in that form of media. Okay, but obviously we're going a little bit more we'll go way more detail during the lessons, but this is what we will be focusing on and we will be learning. We're going to be starting with Minecraft this year. So you might want to make yourself familiar with these products, before we start them. It might be a good idea to watch the Jungle Books again, have a little listen to Radio 1 and play on Minecraft, which I'm sure isn't too difficult or hard for homework. It's quite fun, isn't it? Component 2, section B, evolving media. So this is the big one here. So this again is where you've got to bring all of your knowledge of Creole together. So audience, industry, context, language. And you'll be answering a question on long form television drama. And we look at only one episode from two different dramas, so one of which you may be familiar with is Stranger Things, so it's the first episode from that, and the other is The Killing. Okay, and these are the two we're going to be looking at when this year we'll be starting on as well. So that's an overview of the course, and of course if you've got any questions about it, just come and see myself or Mr. Oakley Pearson and we'll be able to go through that with you. But just to remember that for me, I'll be able to help you mainly with this section of the paper. So if you've got any questions regarding this, please come to see me for that. Okay, so that's the whole course. So as I say, one teacher will teach you exam 1, which is Mr. Oakley Pearson, and I will teach you exam 2. So all I really want you to be thinking about at the minute and before next lesson is have a little play around with your blog. Have a little play around with Sharepoint, have a little look through that, familiarise yourself with that, and start to research, like that activity you did at the beginning of the lesson, some of the areas that we're going to be looking into. It'll be great to have a little bit of background knowledge on these things before we actually delve into it as well. So that's something that you could focus on. Okay, thank you very much for listening, Year 12, and I'm really, really looking forward to meeting you. And hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you very much.